Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
It's your Foster fill-in, Ramondo Sanchez on AM 560. The Answer. Guy that I like to have on no matter where I fall on the radio dial is, I don't know if he's a state representative, a mayor, if he's running for governor, but I always enjoy his visits. With that said, Bradley Stevens is here this morning. Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
Good morning, Ramblin'. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. How you been? Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Yeah, everything's going well. You know, it's that week that gets shot to heck and nothing happens, but we're trying to make some things happen here, as we always do.
Well, I know. That's exactly why I have you on, because everybody else, all the good guests, are, they're busy. So I'm like, I'll call the mayor. He'll join me.
Yeah, you got it. I'm here for you.
I noticed. I want to talk to you, and I will give you a chance to extol the virtues of your wonderful village and everything else. But first, I want to talk to you about this migrant caravan that's on its way from Elburn over to Elmhurst, then up Mannheim, and it ends up in Rosemont. What can you tell me about that?
Yeah, well, it may end up in Rosemont, and it'll quickly turn around and be turned away. We've taken a few measures where everybody's talking about impounding buses and all that stuff all around the state now, and ironically, that was our ordinance that we've shared with everybody. This is a humanitarian issue that dropping people on a sidewalk in a situation where they have no place to stay, that's nowhere near humane, and from where I come from. So we passed an ordinance that where we can impound the bus, arrest the driver, and find these folks. We've shared all that information with the 24 bus companies that we know of that have been contracted by the state of Texas that have just been sending these people north. And it's a shame there's no plan, and it starts from the top. It starts in the federal government, and there needs to be a plan. And while I applaud Mayor Johnson for saying we need some help, but again they're inviting everybody to the party, but they don't have the plan for refreshments. Yeah. Basically, I don't applaud Mayor Johnson for anything, and really, you look at it from top to bottom. This is a Biden administration issue. If you don't want people to come, close the damn border. But I agree with you that you can't let people in here and then give them nowhere to go. And you hear about these horrible stories about little kids dying while they're supposed to be, being taken care of as the immigration process works. Well, it doesn't work, and I don't know what the end result here is, but that's been my conjecture all along: is you can't let people in here if you don't know what you're going to do with them, and then you end up with guys like you that find the situation untenable for your residents, your cities. I get why you have to have a time and schedule to drop them off, but good luck with that. Yeah, and a little known fact, my wife is a legal immigrant. Her and her family came to the United States from Macedonia the right way. They went through the process, and they're here as legal citizens now. So I'm not going to be, slapped down with, I don't have any sympathy for these types of folks, but there's probably a lot of these folks that want to support their family, that want to be able to get into the workforce and do the right thing, and they're not doing that either. And there's shortage of workers all around. Some of our American citizens think that they should just sit back and get a handout. That's not the American way, the way I was raised, and I think that you got to provide the opportunity for them to be able to support themselves and live on their own. And
there are people that have come, and they've been in the queue, as we like to say. They've respected the process. Let's face it, the process is flawed. It's broken. It takes a long time for somebody to become a citizen of the United States, but you can't just jump the line. But before we talk about that anymore, before you joined us, I was talking about this Paid Leave Act for workers in the state of Illinois. Can you explain to me what that is? I mean, how does that help employers? I know it helps employees, but that seems to me like it's just another thing that makes it tough on a guy that's trying to run a small business.
Well, in the last session, the Democrats passed two initiatives. One is paid sick leave, and then another is the Paid Leave Act. That for no reason, an employee can take a day off, and you have to earn it after 90 days of being employed, and there's no clarification whether it's 90 days of work or 90 days on the calendar.
Okay.
That's sort of still a gray area. That for every 40 hours that you work, you earn an hour paid time off, and it's really not going to help. It's not going to help get people jobs. It's sort of foolish. They exempted park districts and school districts, but they didn't exempt municipalities. Here for me, and as you like to call it, the Hamlet, we've got all those auxiliary police that they're going to start racking up this time. And, if it's a rainy day and we've got, a big show at the arena, these folks can just call in and it says a reasonable amount of time, and nobody's defined what that is, and say, hey, listen, I'm not showing up today. And then we've got a problem on our hands. So from the government side, it's not a good thing. All of the local governments that surround me here have been asking for the exemption and for a delay in the implementation, but it's coming January 1, and fortunately they don't get to take any time off for 90 days. So hopefully we can get down there and put a trailer bill through that makes some sense. But I serve on the labor committee in the House, and we brought all these questions up, and it was like, no, we don't think that's going to be the case. And
I can't even imagine what it's like to sit there and try to talk common sense into the folks that make up most of the laws and rules in the state of Illinois. And I should also remind people that not only are you mayor of Rosemont, but you're also a state representative from the 20th district, Bradley Stevens. And when I talk about the hamlet of Rosemont, it really is a model for what can happen when you have a little bit to work with and you put every inch of that municipality to work. Do you still return more tax dollars? How does that work? You return a bunch of tax dollars. Is it the biggest tax dollars outside of the city of Chicago?
Yeah, per capita, I believe we're probably the largest in the state of Illinois of dollars that go down to Springfield, to Cook County, and we're fine with that. This year the Fashion Outlets of Chicago is going to surpass over $400 million in retail sales. So we think we got it dialed in, and we make sure that folks are safe and comfortable, and that's what we do, and we're happy to do it. Nobody wanted this land, back in the 1950s, and the old man saw a little shining star there, and I think that laid a great foundation, and we've been able to make it a little bit better as we go along.
But before I let you go, I have to ask you. Your deputy mayor there in town is a guy named Pat Nagel. Any chance that Pat Nagel brings Taylor Swift to the Allstate Arena this year?
I don't know. I'm going to leave that up to
okay.
the deputy. He's doing a great job over there, as he always does. And the problem is that all of us are getting older, Ray, and the replacement pool is thin.
There you go. I'm here for you. I'm always asking you for a gig.
Oh, man, you want to drive a snowplow?
All I want to do is drive I'll drive a street sweeper. I don't care. Just put me in the union. I need that extra day off a week.
Listen, we support the labor unions, but we just take care of our employees, we believe, really well, and our village employees are non-union. They're the Rosemont Union.
All right. Okay. And that's a good union to be in. All right. Before I let you go,
Tell me something good that's going on in your district and in the town. It could be one or either, because you know a lot of people don't know this about you, but you are a very charitable human being, and you're always there whenever I ask for charity, whether that be somebody that's sick or St. Jude Children's Hospital. You've always come through. Tell me something good.
Well, this last year we did this thing, sort of like the cows on parade they had in the city several years ago. We did nutcrackers on parade. We sponsored these things. We wrote a check for $20,000 to the Lutheran General Children's Hospital, the cancer center over there, and the old man passed because of cancer, and that's been sort of my bailiwick and what we've tried to support in the pediatric end, and there's always good things that we support. And
well,
that's what we're supposed to do.
You're always doing good in the hood. Keep fighting the fight in the Illinois legislature. God bless you, sir. God bless you for putting up with that. All right, thank you, Mayor. All right, Happy New Year, pal. That's Mayor Brad Stevens. When he talks about the old man, he's talking about Donald Stevens, his father, who was the OG of that community. You can say what you want about what goes on over there, and I know in the history, people have had their opinions, but that place works, and that's a good man. My name's Ray Stevens, in for Dan and Amy, 821 on WIND, Chicago's Morning Answer.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Sean Thompson here. If you're a small business owner or you make the marketing decisions or advertising decisions for a business, then listen up. Our annual Food for the Poor campaign is underway. And this year, we are helping to raise money for the children and their families in Latin America and the Caribbean who are desperate for access to food. Millions of people, including many children, are suffering during the season of economic decline, unemployment, and the rising food prices. Our friends at Food for the Poor are working with their partners on the ground to provide life-saving food. And here's how your business can be a part of this solution. Become a Food for the Poor business benefactor by making a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor. And AM 560 will give you 40 one-minute commercials to air right here on AM 560 The Answer between 5 a.m.